What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about episode 41, House of Legends, for DC Universe Online. So the Monitor assembles a team from across the multiverse to combat an upcoming threat. Harbinger will act as your guide through this content. This is quite different from the standard episode formula, as it acts like an overhaul of sorts, as well as an episode, and it sets the stage for a larger scale event coming soon. Heroes and villains alike will come together in this new social hub zone, which will act as the new Watchtower / Hall of Doom. The older ones will still exist, of course. However, this new area is designed to make things more streamlined and cohesive, while also making it much easier for players to navigate. Let's take a quick tour of this area. Here is the main area where you will find the gear vendors and such. This portal here can access any open world area in the game. This is a new pet vendor, which will allow you to not only buy pets you've missed, such as the holiday ones, but also now get upgraded versions of them. Cyborg here will handle the new ally system. Allies come in 3 different rarities: rare, epic, and legendary, and are battle companions that will fight beside you. I mean, seriously, who doesn't want to fight beside Batman or Superman? I mean, that's the whole point of playing this game, isn't it? You can have 3 allies active at a time, 1 for their combat ability and 2 for their passive abilities. You will need to level up their affinity, which is basically build your friendship or partnership with them, if you will. As your affinity with them goes up, you'll gain access to more abilities and perks. Leveling them up works just like artifacts, but unlike artifacts, there is no chance of failure while leveling your allies. This here is the training area, where you can practice your skills and fight alongside your new allies against Nightwing and Deathstroke holograms. Nightwing and Deathstroke act as the combat experts for this particular area. Now, this area is pretty unique. It's called the Archive of Victory. Here you will find the older content of the game, as well as your mentors and faction style vendors. One really cool thing to note is that the styles are no longer locked behind your faction, so heroes can now buy villain styles and vice versa. This area here in the main foyer is where the quest starters for these seasonal events will be starting, coming this Halloween. The idea of this new zone is for it to be a one-stop shop for everything you could possibly need or want, so you don't have to jump around map after map after map. Those old maps are all still accessible, the PDs, nightclubs, all that stuff you can still access, but this way your portals are more streamlined. You don't have to go to like the 10 different portals on either side of the Watchtower, for example. Now, let's dive into the biggest change with episode 41, the newly redesigned on-duty menu. And here it is. Now, note, the original on-duty menu still exists for those who want to use it, and the queues are combined. So, if you queue in the old one and your friend queues in the new one, you will both be joined into the same queue, so no worries there. Okay, starting at the top is the latest episodes button, which will allow you to access all of the content from the last 3 episodes in a single central menu, regardless if it's 1, 4, or 8-man content. This way you can jump right into a specific thing without having to scroll through a long list to find what you want to play. Next up is a pretty interesting feature called the Omnibus, which is a quick jump into content designed to reduce queue times. You select your role, click Start Queue, and bam, you'll be quick queued for all of the content at once. Now let's be clear, this is for all non-solo content that gives source marks. Via the Omnibus, you'll get bonuses, source marks, and extras, as well as CR scaling. This is designed to streamline the combat rating grind and entice older players to run older content. Note that content is still CR locked like always, so don't expect to jump into 300 content on a 100 character. They did say that they have crafted a new 5-tier system that changes the CR ranges a little bit, but they didn't go too much into that. So once we know more, so will you. On a happy note though, there is no loot lock for content completed via the Omnibus. Okay, below that is the solo button. They chose to separate the solos from the rest to make it easier for players to find them. And finally, we have the Save the Universe button, which is a brand new feature that will upscale old content based on a specific theme. Superman related content, Batman related content, etc. It will reward you with a new currency for this episode called Grain of Time, which can be used at the new Rip Hunter vendor. This system will also be used in the future for special events such as weekend events or weekly events, each with their own unique rewards. They used Suicide Squad as an example, where they could do a special Suicide Squad event for the movie release and put out Suicide Squad centric rewards for Rip to sell. They also mentioned Harley's 30th birthday coming up, etc. New allies will be added as well based on such events. Now, let's take a look at the new styles coming with House of Legends. Although this isn't different from most episodes, it still acts very much like an episode. So, new styles. This first style is based on Tempest Fugonat, and this is the standard scaling gear that comes from the gear boxes. Next up, we have the Monitor-inspired gear, which is the standard stat gear that will raise your CR. And then, of course, the Elite version. The stat gear can be purchased from Rip Hunter using the new Grain of Time currency obtained via Save the Universe. And the OP item this time around is based on Rip Hunter's gloves. Also, in the spirit of episodes of the past, they have also revamped several characters' appearances. They fixed Rip Hunter, Captain Atom, Metamorpho, to name a few. So make sure you check those out. What's really cool about this being a multiverse hub is that you could see like Wonder Woman standing next to Star Sapphire Wonder Woman, for example, or Batman having a conversation with Flashpoint Batman, which anyone who knows the comics, that would probably be really hard for Bruce given the fact that his father's dead. But hey, you know. Anyways, that's all we know about episode 41, House of Legends. They did say that there was more to show, but they'd get into that at next week's live stream, so I will cover that when said information is available. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Later.